Hi guys, it's Anne here, and today's video is my March monthly buys and buys video. So what I'm doing every month is tracking what I buy, so what I bring into my collection, and what I say bye to, or the things that I'm finishing, or decluttering, or what have you. So let's just get straight into this. So when I talked about this last month, I basically had a budget of about $60 for the month of March because I overspent in February, which I explained all the reasons in that video if you want to go back to that. So for the month of March, I did go over that just a teeny tiny little bit. I spent $64.35. So even though that was under my monthly budget, because I had an average monthly budget of $125, my budget for the year is $1,500. So yeah, as I said, I overspent in February, so I knew I had to sort of play catch up in March. Almost made it, spent a little bit more than I intended to. So in total for the year so far, I've spent $378.71. So what did I spend that $64 on this past month? So the first thing is these three items, which is the Nude by Nature set that I got from Topbox. I have used the loose powder. It's okay. It reminds me a lot of the CoverGirl powder that I used up last year in my Project Pan. But I do know that this is a more pricey product, so I think I need to play with it a little bit more, but I'm not like wowed by it. It's not like, I wouldn't compare it to like the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Like when I first tried that, I was like, wow, I really like this. I don't actually have that right now, and it's one of those powders that I kind of wish I had to compare it to this, but I remember when I first used that powder, I was like, oh yeah, this is a really nice powder. Or like even like the Hourglass powders. This is definitely thicker, I would say. I haven't been able to try out the other two products because they're just too dark for me right now, although the way things are going, I don't know when I'll see much of the outside, so that's three items there. I also talked in my last video that I finished up some makeup wipes, so I did buy some more, and these are the Neutrogena Naturals Purifying Makeup Removing Wipes. I spent $6.99 on these. I don't really like them. They're okay. I kind of wish I just bought the simple ones. I should just like stop experimenting with random wipes that I find at Marshall's and just buy the simple ones, because I know I like the simple, like the brand Simple. I like those ones. I know they're like a tried and true for me, so I should just stick with them. It does take me a long time to use up wipes. I actually realized those wipes that I had used up last time, I purchased them in August of last year. So that kind of gives you like, I have about a 6-month range plus or minus a couple months on using wipes, so I'll definitely have those wipes for quite some time. So the next thing I purchased is probably the biggest dud I have ever purchased in my entire life, because I feel like this is going to be a buy and a buy all within 1 month, and I'm not sure I've ever had that before or will ever have that in the future. This is the Ardell, I don't even know what the name of it is. It's in the shade Taupe. I'm pretty sure I have the packaging somewhere. I should see if I can find it. It's like this little eyebrow pen. I'll show you close up what it looks like. So hopefully you can see there, it's like a 2-pronged pen. This is the worst product I've ever used. If I just try and do this with it, barely anything comes off. Can you even see it? Can you see it? Sort of. And I've had this sitting upside down for about a week, and yeah, it's just terrible. If I press really hard, I get more product. So there you go. If I press really hard, I get more product, but then it defeats the purpose of these like fine little hairs. Like, I'm sort of getting it. But then the other thing with this product is it's a bit reddish, unfortunately. It says taupe, but there's still like a warm undertone to it. And then when it dries like shiny, which is very bizarre. I'm gonna continue to keep playing with it. I definitely won't get rid of it just yet, but I am disappointed that this didn't quite meet my expectations. But however, I only paid, I think, $6.99 or $5.99 for this, so it's not the end of the world, I guess. Just disappointed. The second to last item that I bought was this NARS single eyeshadow in the shade Himalaya, and I talked about this in a previous video. So this is what that shade looks like in the pan. I'll just do a quick swatch of this shade. So there's the swatch of that shade. I just really, really like this eyeshadow. It's like the taupe that I've been looking for like a long time. So I'm really happy that I did buy this. And my last purchase that put me over budget was the Zodiac palette. So I've talked about this in a couple of videos already, and I paid $12.99 for this. So, I mean, it did put me over budget by a couple dollars, but I accept that, and I'm totally okay with that. So that's the total buys for the month, and I brought in 7 products into my collection. Let's move on to the good buys. So basically my good buys are my empties, and I do some tallies at the end of the video as well. I try and really only tally the dollar value of the beauty items that I'm considering. I also sometimes just show some random items, but I don't put that in the dollar value. I also don't put in the dollar value anything that I've decluttered. I'll put the count of declutter, but it just doesn't go into the dollar value because I really didn't use that dollar value of product, if that makes sense. And I don't know how to... It's too much work to try and be like, well, I used like 10%, so let's get the 10%. No, we're just not going to go there. So, stop blathering, getting it into the empties. The first empty is just, again, an item that I don't really include as a beauty or count as a beauty. It's some bubble bath from Rexall. I've already purchased a new bubble bath from Quo. I just don't... It's not really a beauty thing to me. It's more like a mental health thing. I don't mean that facetiously. Like, for me, baths are like a very key thing to help with some of my sanity at times. And yeah, so I always have like a big giant thing of bubble bath. I go through these pretty quickly, especially in the wintertime. I feel like I definitely have more baths in the wintertime because I'm often cold. Like I get cold really easily, so sometimes I just have a bath just to warm up. I actually have a lot of empties this month. I feel like in February there were a couple of items that were really close to being finished, and I literally finished them like March 1st, 2nd, like within the first few days of the month. One of those items was this Caudalie toner. This is the hydrating, soothing Vino Levure toner. I really like this so much that I already have a second one that I'm working on that I opened after I finished this one. Yeah, I just really enjoy this toner. I think it definitely has helped the quality of my skin. This is now like a staple in my skincare routine, I think. I did finish one sheet mask. I've definitely slowed down on these. I think I'm kind of getting out of the phase of sheet masks. I'm just not enjoying them as much for some reason. The one thing though I do want to give as a random tip, because this may help other people, is I have learned to cut out the piece that kind of goes along here. I'm really sensitive along here, and things like when it touches me there, it irritates the crap out of me. And also, like, if you do a mask and you feel like you can't really drink or anything, I feel like if I cut that piece right here, it makes the world of a difference. So I've definitely been doing that and enjoying that. And I really feel like I don't really need... It's fine to not have the mask bit right there. It's definitely made a huge difference. The other issue I always have with masks is the eye shape is never really good for me. I have really big eyes and deep set eyes. And I just find that, like, yeah, I have to like really stretch out the eye holes, so it's not like blinding me. But anyway, these are the Esfolio masks, and I do really enjoy these. I have like 3 boxes of them basically right now that I need to go through. This is a quick sample beauty empty, makeup empty, and I'm not including this in any sort of total. This is probably, I guess, a declutter item. I tried to use this top sample, and it's so dry that I can't like, and basically right when I opened it, it was like that. I couldn't use it. I didn't actually use it at all. So kind of disappointed. It's the Derma Blend Smooth Liquid Camo. So I believe this is, they call it an all-purpose perfector. It's a foundation, I assume. Safely covers uneven skin tone, hyperpigmentation, and redness. Yeah, it was a sample that I couldn't use, so I'm kind of sad about that. So technically that's a declutter. Speaking of declutters, this will pop up in my empties video, which will probably go up before, or my project pan video, which will go before this. I'm decluttering this. This is the City Color HD powder. It's basically like ground up chalk. I have no other way of explaining it. It just doesn't do anything for me, and it makes my skin look even drier and white. Like, I thought those powders were supposed to be like translucent and blurring. No, it looks like I put like white chalk on my face. Or like, do you remember, did anybody as a kid, did their mom have like those talc powders, like with the poof, and you like put that on your face and you're like, oh wow. That's what that reminds me of. It's just, no thank you. Let's get into a couple of hair products. I actually finished a shampoo. This is the Dove Anti-Frizz Oil Therapy Shampoo. This one was fine. I like Dove shampoos in general. I don't know if I really like this anti-frizz oil therapy. I think for me, I tend to gravitate towards the ones that are like moisturizing and like smoothing. So this one was, again, fine. It says for frizzy dry hair, and yeah, like I think it worked just fine. I am actually working on another Dove shampoo right now. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the Alterna shampoo that I really like. It's too expensive, and I've actually been having a hard time finding it. Like, I was gonna buy it in November, and then it was just like, it was either sold out or they don't, like, I want to buy the bigger size, not like a dinky little size. I don't know if they're discontinuing it. That would make me really sad. But anyway, yeah, I actually finished a shampoo, which I feel like takes me a long time because I don't wash my hair every day. Something that I do go through quite a bit is the Batiste dry shampoo. So I've already bought a replacement for this. I think that was in my last month buy and buy. This one is the Clean and Light. It was fine scent, but this is, yeah, one of my favorite dry shampoos. The only thing is because my hair, this is my natural hair color, and it's pretty dark, and if I don't rub this in, people will comment, your dry shampoo, and I'm like, because sometimes what I do is I spray it in, and then I go do other stuff, and then I rub it in later. Sometimes I forget to come back later and rub it in. So yeah, as I said, I've already repurchased this. Another makeup empty. This is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. I have probably already shown this in my Project Pan video. I didn't mind this primer. I probably wouldn't buy it again. I don't know. It was okay. It was fine. It did definitely have a little bit of a blurring effect, a little bit of a smoothing effect. I feel like it's like one of those like multi-purpose products. It's not really good at any one thing, but it's kind of okay at everything. So yeah, that was finished, and I'm glad that I've finished an item in my Project Pan as well. I have a facial moisturizer here. This is the Pharmacy Honey Drop Lightweight Moisturizer. So this was, I actually bought this from somebody through Reddit, through like a makeup exchange, which was the first time I've done that, and actually it's been the last time I've done that because it's a little bit stressful. And I'm also trying to like not just use the excuse of something being cheaper just for the reason of buying it. But the person had a couple of products that I wanted to try, and this was one of the products that I did want to try. It was okay. I grew to like this. My favorite thing actually is this lid has a magnet in it, and it comes with like a little spatula that sticks to the top. I have kept the spatula, and I'm using that with Clinique moisturizer that I'm using right now. The thing I didn't like about this was while it was light in texture, it was almost too wet. Like it didn't sink in very well, and like your face, it felt like you put like, I was gonna say super watery. That doesn't make sense. It felt like, yeah, it just was too wet for my preference. It was fine. It did the job. Eventually it would dry in, but yeah, I found like the texture was kind of off-putting to me. I really like the packaging of this though. Like the jar is so pretty. I kind of want to keep this just for the jar, but I have no reason to, and I don't know what I would repurpose it for, but it's definitely a beautiful jar, beautiful packaging. I talk about these in all of my empty videos, I think. I usually have one in pretty much every single one, or at least every other month. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel. It's got 2 steps with it. I won't go into too much detail. Love this product, but I do use it very sparingly. I probably use like one a month or one every couple of months, because I feel like I don't need to use it too often, and it's really expensive. This is a empty that I'm glad is done. I did not like this. This is the Coconut Micellar Makeup Melter, and it didn't really work. There's actually still like product. You can see in the bottom, there's still a bit of product in there because I can't, like I literally cannot get it out, and I just got so angry. I was like, it's done. I'm done. It's done. So I am including this as an empty. It's not a declutter, because the remaining product I can't get out. It just didn't work. Part of the problem too is like I wear a lot of waterproof mascara right now, and I feel like this just didn't get any of my makeup off. Like it wasn't strong enough to get my makeup off. Even when I wore like light makeup, it really struggled. So for that reason, I didn't really care for this. My final 2 skincare pans are kind of sad pans. The first one is this Juviance Redensifying Deep Wrinkle Serum. So I use this actually on my under eyes, and it was expensive. I think this was like a $40 bottle. It was really, really good. I didn't realize how much I've missed it now that I don't have it. I feel like the eye products that I'm using right now, like I feel like my eyes have been looking extra wrinkly. So my apartment is very dry right now. The heat is still technically on because it gets pretty cold. Like my apartment, it's cold most of the time. Even in the summertime, it rarely gets very hot. It has to be like 30 degrees outside for my apartment to get hot. But yeah, I just felt like this actually did a really good job on my under eyes, and I will be repurchasing this again, or at least looking at this brand to see what other products that they have. Hopefully they have something that's specific to under eyes, because this wasn't specific to under eyes. It was just for wrinkles, but I felt like it definitely helped my under eyes compared to what I'm using right now. I also finished up this little Perlice Watermelon Energizing 2-minute polishing peel. I did really like this. I wouldn't mind getting another sample of this. Probably what will put me off buying this is it's just too expensive. The full size I think is like $40 US. The exchange rate right now is obviously in the gutter, and yeah, there's just I can't really justify buying it. I'm not a huge physical exfoliating type person. This one has like really tiny granules though, and I like that. It reminds me a lot of, I used a Neutrogena, I think it's called the Neutrogena Pore Refining Cleanser or something, and this reminds me of that a lot. So if I were to buy a product like this again, it would probably be that Neutrogena one. And my last empty is this Clean Skin fragrance. So I'm trying to finish at least one small fragrance every empty. I have a lot of little samples and a lot of little guys. This came from a little trio that I bought at Marshall's. I've actually bought another trio. I want to say it was like November last year, knowing that I was eventually going to finish this one. This still has 2 other scents that came with it. There's a air and a cotton, I think, are the 2 that come with this. The trio that I got last year has 2 other scents. I think it has rain and cotton maybe. But yeah, so it's a weird fragrance. Like, I like the smell of it. It's very subtle though. The reason why I like this is because I can wear this to work, I feel like, and I still have a bit of a fragrance, but like you can barely smell it, because we're supposed to be in a fragrance-free work environment. Although right now I'm enjoying that I can play with my fragrances because I'm working from home, so it's only me that smells them. So that's my empties for the month of March. I feel like that was a really good empties. I got a lot finished this month. I don't know if next month or any future month will have this many empties in it. I feel really good about the empties that I had this month. So I'll put like, I don't know, put them over here. I'll put the total of like miscellaneous, decluttered, and actually empties. And then I'll put like the dollar value of the empties. So for me, again, it's just that comparison of like what I'm spending and how much I'm bringing in, and then what is the value and how many items are going away, and trying to keep that balance. I would prefer, I don't have any specific number. I don't have, like, I'm not a minimalist. I just would prefer to have some balance, and some semblance of control of what I'm bringing in and taking out, not bringing in too much, again, and not overspending just because something's on sale. That's something I'm really struggling with right now, and I kind of want to just talk about that here at the end. With everything that's going on, I have noticed on one hand that there's been a lot of brands that are doing sales, and it's very tempting. I want to buy so many different things, and at the same time, I also don't want to buy things because A, I don't need it. I'm at home. It's just for me, and I have enough stuff. I have a lot of things that I can use. I'm not going to run out of, like, at least any makeup items. I'm definitely not running out of any makeup anytime soon, and I do have a budget, so there's not really a huge impetus. I also am thinking about, like, being in the city, everybody's getting deliveries and things packaged in deliveries, and I don't want to be clogging up that sort of supply chain with just like fun miscellaneous things. On the other hand, I think about like the economy and things, and I want to continue to contribute to the economy, especially thinking about like some small businesses right now that are shut down. How do I contribute to those? I mean, they're not even delivering. I think Colourpop has even stopped their distribution right now. So it's just like this weird, I don't know what to do. So what I decided, or how I'm just approaching this right now, is I'm kind of technically going on a no-buy. There's really nothing I need to buy right now. The only thing I could think of that I might run out is like maybe a makeup or a hair care or a skincare thing. But other than that, I'm not really purchasing anything. So this is kind of putting me on an involuntary no-buy for the foreseeable future. We'll see how things go. Like I said, I'm mixed emotions about it. I'm also cognizant of last year, or the year before, I did a no-buy for a few months, and then I totally like spiraled. For me, it was like binging. It was like, okay, no buying anything. And then when I finally lifted that no-buy, it's like, buy all the things. And I really don't want to do that this year. So anyway, as I said, for right now, for the month of April, you probably won't see much on the buy side of things. So we'll see how the empties or the good buys side of things go. I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my tiny little channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.